Hi folks, this is Vicki at patternprincess.com. Today I want to show you how to do the straight box stitch. It's just a very pretty stitch. It's slanted and it's just a it's a repeat of row 2, so it's a very simple stitch, but it has a really nice texture to it. It's not too thick and it's not too, I should say, skinny on stitches. It's just the right amount. I think I'm going to make some blankets out of this one. I think it'll be pretty for a shawl. I'm stretching it apart so you can kind of see the stitches. It might be a little bit hard to see on this. Here is the sample I did when I did the photo tutorial for the blog post. This is a little bitty sample I made just for that when I was showing the stitches. And you can see how the stitches are all at an angle. This one this way, this one's this way. And it's just a very simple stitch. So let me get going and show it to you here. It's crocheted in multiples of 4, so change your length accordingly by multiples of 4. Today I'm just going to use a Caron Simply Soft. I have literally some scrap yarn. It's looking pretty bad here. Hopefully it won't get tangled as I'm working. I'm going to get my slip knot on my hook. I'm using a size H hook, and I like to use, like I think I've mentioned before, the ones with the bigger shanks. This one's from Hobby. No, it's not. It's from Furls. I take that back. And it's called an Odyssey, and it has the bigger shank on it, which I like for, it's just nicer for my hands not getting tired. Okay, so my sample, I'm going to do 16 stitches wide, so 16 chain stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so in the 4th chain from the hook, so we do not count the loop on our hook, we count the chain. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So working into that 4th one, the 3 stitches that we are skipping are going to count as a double crochet. Okay, so working into the 4th chain, this one right where my thumb is, we're going to do 3 double crochets. So I'm going to yarn over, and I put my hook through the loop, yarn over, come through 2 loops, and yarn over through 2 more loops. That's a double crochet. Yarn over, go through the loop, yarn over, bring it through, and yarn over through 2 loops and 2 more. That's the 2nd double crochet. And then here we're going to go with the 3rd. So our first little cluster is done. It's 4 double crochets because the first chain 3 is counted. Now we're going to go to the next 4th chain, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this is going to be pretty much the pattern you're going to work throughout what I'm doing now. I'm going to do a single crochet, and then we're going to do a chain 2. Now you could do a slip stitch and a chain 3 if you prefer. I kind of like the look of a single crochet and a chain 2. I think that it just provides a little bit more stability for me, and I just thought it looked a little bit nicer, but you can do either way. Then we're going to do 3 double crochets, and we're working all in that 1 loop, just like we did before. And then my 3rd, we're going to count again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to do our single crochet and our chain 2 and our 3 double crochet. This is a very nice pattern. Once you get the 2nd row done, the 3rd row and beyond, it's one I can kind of talk to my family and watch TV and not get too flustered. So we count. Sometimes you have to pull this apart to see this little one, because this loop will get bigger, and you kind of pull this one smaller as you're doing it. So there's a loop right here, 2, 3, 4. So in the last chain, we're just going to do a single crochet. We now have row 1 done. Boy, I cannot talk. I should start over. Okay, that's row 1. It's just a nice, cute little design. I'm going to turn it, get my hook back in here. Okay, so then in row 2, I'm going to chain 2. That counts as a double crochet. You could also do a chain 3. I found on this particular stitch, I think it's because you're coming and working the stitch down in the stitch right here for your next stitches, your double crochet stitches. It just seemed like the height was better at a chain 2 on this one than the normal chain 3 that you would do. So, but you certainly can do a chain 3, okay? So I'm going to yarn over and do 3 double crochet right there in that single crochet stitch. Okay, so we're going to do 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's 4 double crochet because those first chains just count. Then just like we did in the first row, now we're going to skip these, but we're going to work our next stitches around our chain 2s, but the same stitches as the single crochet. So just like the first row, that repeating single crochet grouping, chain 2, and then our 3 double crochet, see, they're worked right around that chain stitch from the previous row, and that's what slants your stitches. Do you see that? Let me put this down for a second so you can see it better. So we're working, our next one would be right here, right around that chain 2. And that'll slant. When I do that single crochet, it brings that whole grouping over, and then it slants it, and it creates almost like a shell stitch look, almost. And just a really nice, pretty look to it. So again, we're going to do our single crochet. We're skipping those double crochets. And then we're going to chain 2, and then 3 double crochet. So once you have that part of the pattern down, I mean, you can work this pattern. It's good. It's a good pattern. It's a lovely result. And then I'm going to skip these, and then in that those top chains that we skipped in the last side, you're just going to do a single crochet, and row 2 is done. That was a row that you repeat, row 2. And as it doesn't look at the moment, it doesn't look like things align, but once you get a few rows in. See, once you get a few rows in, this side's maybe a little bit wonkier, but this side's pretty gosh darn straight. And what I did is I actually carried my yarn. I'm working on a pattern right now, a nice pretty baby blanket, and I carried the yarn up the side because I planned on putting a border. And I did I switched yarn colors every other row, and then I did it in 3 colors. So right now I'm working on the border, and that's turning out really pretty. So I'm going to, and I'll show you in a different video how to carry the yarn up the side, and then once I decide on the border on the blanket, I'll show you the border too. So here is my row 3. So I'm going to chain 2, go right back into that single crochet and work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Skipping over to the chain 2 section, sticking my hook in there, and I'm going to work my single crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. See how nice this pattern just flows along? And this is called a straight box stitch. There you go. And then we go to the next with our single crochet, chain 2, and 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then in the top chain of those first 2 chains of the previous row, sometimes you got to jam your hook in there. We do a single crochet. 3 rows are done, but you just continue repeating that row 2, and it's just such a pretty stitch. I just love the texture to it. And it's a reversible stitch. It looks the same on the back as it does on the front. So I hope that you enjoy this pattern. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. The patterns are always free on the website, patternprincess.com. You can often buy our patterns without ads on our websites. My daughter's site is Peaches and Crafts, and my site is Pattern Princess Etsy. So thank you very much, and thanks for watching. Take care.